This is the Marvel Legends series, Marvel's 80 Years X-Men 3-pack featuring Quicksilver, Magneto, and the Scarlet Witch. I picked up this set at Our Toys. Pretty cool. Out here in Manila, hobby shops carry this. And I think in some parts of the world, this is an Amazon exclusive. Very nice. Let's get these figures out of packaging. And here they are out of packaging. And I know they're just a bunch of repaints with redecoed head sculpts, resculpts, and all that, but they actually look amazing. If you read up with the comic books in the late 80s and early 90s, late 90s, there's so much nostalgia in this set, not just for the X-Men, but for the Avengers. And I love it. I love what Hasbro has done with this. I have my gripes with the set. I'll talk about that later. But overall, I'm very, very pleased with this set. Okay, so let's start with Quicksilver, since he's the easiest. He's on the ground. And obviously they don't come with bases. These are Revel tech stands from the amazing Yamaguchi figures, from Gambit, Psylocke, and from Deadpool. So look at this guy. Absolutely amazing. I love how the costume came out. He's got this really muted blue on him. I thought they were going to use some sky blue, too bright. I'm glad they didn't. And the white they used is a little bit of a pearlesque type of white for the plastic, and even the paint apps. The paint apps, this sort of lightning bolt design, iconic costume design of Quicksilver is done in that metallic sort of pearlesque type of white. Had they done the hair in the same plastic, oh my goodness, it would have been blown away. It's like he's super fast. Very, very nice. And look at that head sculpt. That is Quicksilver, Pietro. Now the mold is obviously just a redeco, one of the Spider-Man molds, if I'm not mistaken, or a combination of a previous mold and a Spider-Man mold. But I don't care. I love how it turned out. My only gripe with this particular figure is that the head sculpt looks a little bit too big. It's like an adult head on a teenager's body. That's my only gripe about this figure. But other than that, I love it. He comes with an extra pair of open hands, so you can have him like in dashing pose, like this is the open salute hand. I'm sure you've seen this in Captain America figures and all that, but I like it, but I like him better with the closed fists for some reason. And everybody's posing him in that running pose, and I like him like he's just stopping, like I like that. So articulation for the figure, he's got a ball jointed neck that is on a hinge, ab crunch, butterfly joints, ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, ball hinge wrists, ratcheting hip waist swivel, ball hinge hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, calf swivel, ball hinge ankles with the rocker pivot. So pretty cool. And now on to Magneto. Oh my goodness, this guy looks absolutely amazing. He has these havoc effects on him. I felt they looked better reversed instead of the usual prone position, with the dome facing inward. I thought this was okay, but this is more of like a plasma bolt being charged. This one is more like if it's in a funnel shape in the opposite direction. Feels like he's charging something magnetically, or he's manipulating something metallic. I don't know, it just feels better that way. But, you know, would have been nice if it just rings. They gave us a remold and less of the bubbles. He also comes with two pairs of hands. He's got the closed fist hands and the, I don't know how to call this. This is like the mutant power hand. Like, oh. Although my right hand, the right hand of my copy of the figure feels a little bit deformed. Maybe because of how it was packaged. The fingers sort of feel like they're bent too much this way. Now, onto the figure itself. I don't have the other Magneto figures anymore. I sold them all. But I feel he is just a redeco of those figures, but with one very important part. they've given him wrist joints instead of the other one just has the forearm swivel and the immovable wrist, but this one has those wrist joints as evidenced in the alternate hands. And I do like how this came out. A lot of people are complaining about the head sculpt. The helmet's too small. It should have been removable and all that. I actually like it. I'm pretty happy with it. He also has this alternate head, sort of zombie-looking Magneto, energized Magneto. X-Men, Prophet Charles. Something like that. But I'm pretty okay with it. Instead of this, this is a cool head sculpt. But instead of this, I would have been okay if they repacked that old unmasked Magneto Erik head sculpt. That would have been nice instead of another alternate helmet head sculpt, but I'm fine with it. This figure I think is the best Magneto figure out there. There's some shading in the back of the cape. Cape is probably repurposed, I'm pretty sure. And there's a peg right there. You can tab it on the back of Magneto. Okay, I like it. I love they fixed the mold somehow. There's really not a lot more I can do. I can say for Hasbro to improve it, except for that unmasked head sculpt. That would make this figure absolutely perfect. Figure's got a ball jointed neck that's on a hinge, ratcheting ab crunch, ratcheting waist swivel, ball hinge shoulders, go this way and that, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. The angle is actually pretty good on this one compared to the Quicksilver mold. Ball hinge wrists that go in and out. Ball jointed hips that go only up to here and here. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees. Calf swivel. I actually thought they got rid of the calf swivel based on pictures, but they didn't. Pretty cool. Ball hinge ankles with the rocker pivot. Another gripe I have with this figure is that the cape doesn't seem to peg as nicely as I thought it should. For some reason, it's just not pegging in. But okay, it's the best I could do. And now on to Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. This is probably my favorite figure in the entire set. Out of all these three figures, I was most pleased with this figure. It looks absolutely terrific. I mean, if you're trying to complete your Avengers lineup, you're going to need this set, definitely. More than if you're an X-Men fan. But wow, look at this. She doesn't come with any extra hands or head sculpt. But she does come with the effects that they use. I think you've probably seen this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe Vision and Scarlet Witch 2-pack. This is the new effects that they kind of use, or for Jubilee. I'm not sure. It looks to be the same. It's just a little thinner, or it's probably new. I'm not sure, but it looks like that. They're okay. They're not the best. They're actually the worst accessories, if you ask me. But the figure, I think, is the best one. And the reason I feel it's the best one is because of this fantastic head sculpt. Look at that. If that's not the Scarlet Witch, I don't know what is. Those green eyes, nicely painted lipstick. Even the flesh plastic they used, I think it's painted on that. It's not the original flesh plastic. And I love it. Hasbro should be using a lot more of this. Flesh tone paint apps. You got the heads, the molded in headpiece. Look at that hair. Wow, looks so classic looking. Probably the only thing I find weird is the metallic sort of pink that they put on him. Wish it's been a little bit more lighter like this, like the one they used for Quicksilver, pink in this type of shade. But they used a very metallic one. I don't know why. And the cape is here. It's probably removable if you pop off the head. I'm not going to do it. But one thing I will gripe about this figure, my only gripe, is they still use the same Scarlet Witch mold they used in the Odin Build-A-Figure wave. And the problem with that is the very weak knees. They've kind of improved it with this figure, but over time, I'm pretty sure these knees are going to buckle. But with a cape long enough to act as a support, it'll probably be fine. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe. It's that they used the same knees and legs from that previously released Odin Wave Legends Scarlet Witch. So the head is on a ball joint. It's on a hinge. Ball joint upper torso, ball hinge shoulders, ball hinge elbows, ball hinge wrists, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and ball hinge ankles with a rocker pivot. And for size comparisons, here they are with a few X-Men Marvel Legends figures with Cyclops, Wolverine, and Rogue. They scale nicely with these X-Men figures. So some final thoughts on this set. The set is not perfect, I'll have to admit, but out of all the versions of Marvel Legends figures Hasbro has released for these three characters, I think these three are the best versions of Quicksilver, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch in the comic version of these characters in the 1/12 scale figures. I'm very pleased with it. They're good enough for your Avengers or X-Men shelf. I think they're great. Sure, they could use some improvement, but I think this is as good as it gets. The set is going to get a 9 out of 10 for me. Best of luck to everybody hunting it down. I hope you've enjoyed this little video review. This has been the Marvel Legends series, the X-Men 3-pack for the Marvel's 80 years Marvel Legends lineup featuring Quicksilver, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch. Thanks for watching.